Alcatraz. Only one man has ever broken out. Now 5 million lives depend on 2 men breaking in. I could tell you a quick overview of the movie, but I'll let this guy do it for me.
An incursion underwater to retake an impregnable fortress held by an elite team of U.S. Marines in possession of 81 hostages and 15 guided rockets armed with VX poison gas.
Remember when Michael Bay made good movies? I know it's hard, but back in 1996 he directed this movie, starring Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, Ed Harris, and plenty of other recognizable people. This movie is one of his best. First, we have Sean Connery, who plays the role of John Patrick Mason, who is a British special agent. Unlawfully imprisoned for 30 years by this guy, FBI Director James Womack, played by John Spencer, Mason is let out to help a platoon of Navy SEALs break into Alcatraz, as he is the only man known to have escaped. But why would he need to break into Alcatraz? Because this guy, General Francis X. Hummel, played by Ed Harris, has stolen a biochemical weapon and intends to use it on San Francisco if the government doesn't meet his demands. Because of the nature of the weapon, the strike team also includes Dr. Stanley Goodspeed, played by Nicolas Cage. Dr. Goodspeed is a chemical freak.
I'm a chemical super freak, actually.
Right, chemical super freak. Anyways, he tags along to help disarm the weapons.
Last night, General Hummel, using brutal but non-lethal force under the guise of a security exercise, walked off with 15 VX poison gas rockets. He lost one of his own men in the process.
But why does he do that? It turns out that General Francis X. Hummel has a bad taste left in his mouth. He's tried to amend his problem diplomatically, but so far has failed. So after his wife dies, he figures he has nothing left to do but go all out.
Remember Operation Desert Storm? Those surgical hits made by our smart bombs covered so well on CNN? It was my men on the ground that made those hits possible by lasing the targets. 20 of them were left to rot outside Baghdad after the conflict ended. No benefits were paid to their families. No medals conferred. These men died for their country and they weren't even given a goddamn military burial.
So here we have the bad guy, who's only a bad guy because he is doing good things the wrong way. It's really hard to hate this guy. But in order to stop him, we need this guy. Yeah, this guy is pretty badass, even old. After making an escape to meet his daughter for the first time, he's brought back to complete the mission. Now let's get to know Stanley Goodspeed. Kind of a high-strung guy with really bad scripting in some parts.
All right, just back away. Just back away.
So what do you say you cut me some friggin' slack?
Let's talk music. Do you like the Elton John song Rocket Man?
I don't like soft-ass shit.
Oh, you know. Well, I only bring it up because, it's you. You're the Rocket Man.
Yeah, it can be bad. Other than that, he's your average guy forced into the extreme situation. So they get together and break into Alcatraz with the platoon of Navy SEALs. And they die. But not Goodspeed or Mason. Ironically, they are the only 2 left alive, so together they go back and forth on an adventure to stop the rockets from being launched and save San Francisco. From the beginning, this movie throws you into the action. When the action takes pause, the story continues in a way that's easy to follow and never dull. There isn't much else to say. Clip by clip, you never feel bored when watching. Even if you've seen it before and you know what's going to happen, this movie never has any downtime. A few flashy explosions, some heavy gunfire, and deadly gas. This movie doesn't boast much for extraordinary effects, but they don't really overdo it either, which is nice. The special effects, while dramatically embellished, as in all movies are, feel natural. Nice effects on the melting skin from the VX gas too. You can watch this movie and almost not notice this, but music is playing in the background for almost the entire movie. It's very subtle and kicks up a little during the action sequences, and it all fits together really nicely. All in all, we have a great movie here. Well-rounded characters, for the most part, and a nice unique story. From start to finish, you're entertained. The sequences are overall good, the special effects fit in nicely, and the music is good. So let's look at the checklist. Has it aged well? This movie is as good as the day it was made. Did it get the job done? If you want a nice action flick, this is always a good one to watch. Is this a must-see? If you haven't guessed, I like this movie. I recommend it to everyone. Does it have any rewatch value? While it's always the same, that's not a bad thing, because it's always good. Is it a must-own? This one, I would highly recommend adding to the collection. On the final verdict, for plot, I give it 2 stars. The story's original and good. It puts a lot of elements together and ties them together very nicely. For characters, I give it 2 stars. The characters are well developed and also unique in comparison with each other. There's just a nice contrast to everyone. For sequencing, I give it 2 stars. From start to finish, there are no dull moments. For special effects and animation, I give it 2 stars. While not amazing or excessive, they are really actually minute, and to me that's better than getting it wrong. For music, another 2 stars. It plays almost the entire movie and somehow doesn't overdo it. Overall, I give this movie a 10 out of 10. It's a great movie, so go watch it.
When you broke out, let me see if I can get this straight. You went down the incinerator chute, on the mine car, through the tunnels to the power plant, under the steam engine, that was really cool, by the way, and into the cistern through the intake pipe, but how, in the name of Zeus's butthole, did you get out of your cell?